Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff here real quick. Wanted to do a quick video from what I found over the weekend, actually. I don't usually do videos at night just because the lighting's not that great in here, and with the daylight not coming in the window. We'll see how this artificial light looks. Hopefully you can deal with it for this one. But yeah, so I went to one of the malls in town. There's a store that has moved from one mall to the other mall to another mall, and they have a lot of records, but I mean, like a lot of records, but a lot of them are typical. I mean, it's just average stuff, nothing major. Occasionally I found some decent stuff there over the years. And the guy who runs the store, I mean, the records are not priced, and you get up to the counter and sometimes he prices them and you're like, okay, maybe not. Some of the things are priced. He's got a lot of stuff there. The store is not just records. It's got comic books and knickknacks and new things and old things and all kinds of collectibles and sports memorabilia and, like I say, comics, everything. Just it's an eclectic store. It's got a little of everything. But the guy's been running the store for years, but now he's moved to a new location. We've been there once before, but now he's got a whole big display set up in the store. So anyway, we made it back to that side of town. Actually, I went there specifically for this to see if they had an album there that I turned up buying months ago when I saw it. And he's got a big display there of all the stuff that he's been involved in the past. Now, it turns out, I didn't realize this about the guy. He's got a history here, but he started working back in the 80s at one of the most popular, back when I was a teenager, we would come to I lived on the other side of the bridge, and we would come to this side of town to go to this record store called Trex. And all I knew is they sold imports, they sold great stuff. And I didn't realize they had a lot of bands that would come into in-store appearances there. They did a lot of promotional stuff for bands. Turns out the guy who works at this particular store used to work there in 81 through a couple years. And he's actually an artist also. And he's the one that did the tattoos on a woman that ended up being used for the Rolling Stones Tattoo You album. It was all on the paper and everything. And he painted this girl's body with tattoos. And so it got used in that. That's his main claim to fame. But I didn't realize he was that involved in all of this stuff and is well-known, well-knowledgeable about a lot of that stuff back in the day. But so I got to talking to him a little bit more. But I went through and looked at the records. And like I said, there's a lot of records. A lot of them are typical stuff, nothing major. And then he's got a section for more decent stuff, of course. And so I ended up finding some stuff in there. And the prices are not terrible bad. Some of them, $40 for this album or whatever is a little bit much. But if you're a collector, maybe it's worth it. So, but here's what I picked up. Just want to show it real quick. So, and the ones I picked up are the one I looked at them, and they're all in really good quality. At the most, they might need a light cleaning. But Heaven Tonight by Cheap Trick. It's only my second Cheap Trick album. Never been much of a Cheap Trick fan, but when one falls in your lap for $8.99 and it's in great condition, this is a 1978 edition, OG. So I went ahead and grabbed that. This has Surrender on it, which is a song that our band plays at every gig. So, I'm familiar with the songs. It is missing the inner sleeve. I know that there's supposed to be an inner sleeve with pictures, but again, for the price, this one I thought was a great price too. And it's Blue Oyster Cult, the live album. Double record set, high grade vinyl. It is. It looks near new. $12.99. Everything's there. It's got the inserts and everything. So I thought, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult in my collection at all. So when I see it, I'm going to grab it. I mean, I've got a lot of their stuff digitally, but I don't have anything on vinyl yet. So here's my first Blue Oyster Cult vinyl. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Then I ran into a couple of these. There was actually 3 by Thin Lizzy. I picked up this one. This is the only one I was questionable because this one was $18.99. That's the thing. It's got the stickers right on it. And I'm like, they had another one, darn it, forgetting the name of the album now, for $6.99. I don't have much in my collection by them, and so I'm always looking to pick it up. But this one for this price, I'm like, that's a bit steep. So I looked it up on Discogs, and I'm like, the cheapest copy of this that sells within the U.S. is like $25 plus shipping. So I'm like, okay, well, $18.99 is not bad. So I don't know if there's some significance to this album that makes it worth more than some of the others. But the fact that it was in really good condition, whereas a lot of the ones on Discogs were good to very good, this one to me is more of a very good plus, at least. So yeah, went ahead, and my wife was there, and I'm like, I don't know about this one. And she's like, oh, just buy them all. She said, just buy it. It's a good deal. So she prompted me to buy this. The one that I really went after is this one, Live and Dangerous. Apparently, most people consider this to be like one of the best live albums ever. And I have heard it. I think I have the CD version of this, but to have an OG copy on vinyl with all the information intact, it's also high grade vinyl. It looks near new, brand new. Now, $24.99, and it was marked down to $14.99, which I thought was a steal. $14.99, great price, double record set. It's got a little ring wear and a little tear there. So anyway, I got up there and I'm talking to the guy, and we're doing all this talking about memories of the 80s and all the bands and everything he did at Trex. And I'm just like, it's amazing, getting to talk, just hearing cool stories like that. We were just hung out a lot of the same stuff back in the days. It was just great. I'm like, I remember in the store over here, he said, yeah, we got that video section over it. And I'm telling him things about, I remember when I was a kid coming to that store, and it was great. So anyway, as he's ringing him up, he's like, I'm going to knock this down to $10. He knocked $5 off of it. He said, just because it's got some damage there. I don't know if he realized he'd already knocked it down $10 from the original price to what it was on sale. And again, I don't play the cover, so I'm not a problem with the fact that it's got this cover damage, but it looks like it got wet. The records themselves are in great condition, so I wasn't too terribly worried about it, even at $14.99. But I got it for $10. So, I bought all these records. He gave me a knocked off a little bit on these, and I was like thrilled about that. So, yeah. So I'm excited to have this. There was that one other Thin Lizzy album. It was a little rough. It was pretty banged up. But he had a lot of other things that. A little more, they had some misfits and stuff that seemed to be somewhat collectibles. He had a New York Dolls album, which was like a France press. It was almost $20. I really thought about jumping on that. I don't know if it was just a French album compilation or what, but he had a lot of oddities like that. And then he had some older Stones albums that they were probably priced. Some of them I'd never even seen before that were probably priced accordingly. But anyway, so I grabbed a couple things, but it was just kind of neat to go in there. I mean, I've been going to the store for a handful of years, but never knew the history behind the guy behind the counter. I thought he was just a, average dude who had a store that was full of stuff that you would think you'd find at garage sales. And then I'm looking through the comic books, and I'm sure the comics are probably priced a little more than they should be, but I was just totally shocked at some of the things he had in there. So I didn't buy any comics. My wife pushed me away from the comics, but so anyway, yeah, that was it. Just a fun little time. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking to go back some more and spend some more time talking to him. But until then, see you later. Rock on and rock hard.